maybe even some gentlemen, welcome to the latest installment of Hair Matters, brought to you by the New England renowned Noel Salon, 347 Pleasant Street, Malden, Mass. Just steps from the Malden Center MBTA T-Stop. For all your hair needs, check us out, noelsalon.com, and across all infamous social media platforms. Today is Reality TV Real. Here are your hosts, Noel and Aurora.
Thank you. So, Dan, we have signed some NDAs with a lot of reality stars, but we have a few that we did not. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about some stuff today.
Yeah. I could not add much to last week's episode. This I can.
Good.
So
good. I know you have an opinion on
so
this.
Happy about
I
that.
have facts.
You have facts. Well, we have some facts, too, because a couple of weeks ago we went out to Connecticut, and we did the Silva twins from the 90 Day Fiance show.
Have you heard of that show?
Before the 90
I
days.
wasn't familiar with them.
Okay.
And after seeing some of the pictures,
You're
I
familiar.
was kind of hoping maybe I'd continue to be
I
unfamiliar.
think they really make the show. I think if anyone knows 90 Day Fiance, they know them.
Particularly Darcey.
Mm-hmm.
Because
What is so great about these twins for those at home that don't know them?
I think that twins in general are pretty cool. I think people like that fantasy of twins. And they also don't always get along.
Yeah.
And we witnessed the fact that they do get along, but they do have that little a lot of sibling rivalry.
Now, were they arguing over what kind of potato chips to put?
No, they were arguing about their boyfriends, and which they do on the show too. So I almost felt like I was in a scene from the show. Don't you feel, Aurora?
Yeah. I mean, I think in a good way, it kind of showed that even though reality can be warped, like these shows do, like pull out certain things and leave some things out of the show. This was something that was pretty real.
Yeah, there was
was
no
their
editing in
relationship.
this, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Their relationship is very real. Although I do think I heard Darcey say, "Oh, Stacey, don't say this. Stacey, don't say that." And but as far as their relationships, surprisingly, they are in the relationships they claim to be. Well, I don't know, are they no longer? I know Darcey said she was in a relationship with that Tom Brooks, and she admitted to us that he was completely a fraud. He doesn't have the money that he claimed to have. You don't know the show,
I don't
Dan.
know anything about
Well, she did mention even now that she's leaving it up to let the show finish and let the reunion air so that you know where they're at, which is fair to the show. I mean, we don't really know exactly where they're at.
Well, I got the complete impression that they were not together because she was complaining.
But do you think that she wanted to show us that impression so that it's still left us hanging?
I don't think that she was all that concerned about saying anything.
Well, I definitely think that she did mention that when she was in a legit relationship with him when they first met.
Yes.
And she did tell him, when we start airing and we start going on TV, a lot's going to change. Can you handle it? You know, you're going to get girls, and inboxing you and all this attention that you've never had. And she did say to us that it got to his head. Yeah. He got like these girls and writing to
now
him.
He
and
lost a lot of weight.
He lost a lot of weight. He does his dancing or whatever that is that he does.
Supposedly got someone pregnant.
Yeah, supposedly. So, I mean, these are things that she hasn't like confirmed or denied. She's just telling us to wait.
She said it to us, but it's going to be over soon anyway.
Yeah.
So
but
you won't have to wait much longer.
No,
but
but
I'm sure it's been stirring to find out what the end result of the 90 Day Fiancé.
Well, when you watch the show, you have your interest. As far as like Stacey, I worked on Stacey. Aurora worked on Darcey. Stacey was a little less maintenance, I believe. She was just really a little more down to earth too. Yeah. She is not as popular as Darcey.
Darcey was very nice. Stacey was very nice too. They were very nice. But you know, I definitely think that they've been doing it for years, reality TV. So I think that it's a different. I mean, they feel in comparison to us that they're
superior
stars.
Yeah, and
which
they
is,
are.
It is on some level.
I think as far as Stacey's relationship.
Let's call it what it is.
Well, I don't know about that. I think Darcey's going to get a spinoff somewhere, somehow. I think
Darcey is going to get a spinoff. And I said that to her, too. I'm like, you're going to do a show.
These two get a lot of trolls that just go on their Instagram and just, I don't know that I could emotionally take.
Do you know that I got a troll because I commented?
Yeah, I did too.
I commented. You got someone that said something bad to you?
Yeah, on the Noel Salon page.
These
two are fake, and It was just like, you don't even know them, basically. I defended them. I did. I guess, though, in fairness to the public, when you see someone with everything, not just one thing. So it's one thing if you have hair extensions and everything else is natural, but everything that they have, maybe people just look at it like
But
it's
everybody
a little over
has
the top.
something. Everybody has something.
In person, she's really pretty. Very, very short, very petite. People love them. I can't say enough about how they were nice to us.
They presented one of the greatest buffets of Lay's potato chips in the history of Connecticut, from what I understand, to feed you.
Well, we didn't go there for food.
All right.
No.
So I know
If
you.
you
I know
did,
you
if
question
you did,
that.
you would have been disappointed.
Well, no, we didn't go. We went there to work, and we went there to do a good job, and we wanted some promotion. Now, their promotion for us. What do you feel about that, Aurora?
I'm hoping that there's more to come
I hope.
in their promotion for us.
Because I have to say, we did a great job on their hair.
Yeah, we did.
We knew going in that their hair is a topic of controversy. Many people say that it doesn't look good because the extensions are quite obvious in their hair. Tackled their hair in its texture first because they are mixed race, so their hair is a little more
Cape Verdean.
Cape Verdean, yes,
and like French Canadian or something.
yeah, they're mixed. So we attacked their
yeah.
hair, and as far as straightening and smoothing it first, and
Yeah.
then of course color, and then the extensions.
So also she did explain, like with shooting, reason why it looks so bad in some scenes is that you don't really have much time to like prepare and get ready when it comes to like these shows, these reality shows. They kind of say, okay, we're going to show up at like 8:39. You have 15-20 minutes to get ready and start filming. So if you have all these extensions and all this prep and you want to look good for a show and they don't give you enough time, you kind of leave looking kind of like a hot mess sometimes. Right. So in fairness, she was saying like it's always where they were was England too. It was rainy.
And their budget is unlike Bravo. Like Bravo, the Real Housewives, these women have beautiful lighting. They have a glam squad.
Yeah.
These
What
girls
channel
don't.
is 90 Day Fiance?
TLC.
But I'm not saying that it's not, high budget filming. I just don't think they want to be as real, I think, as possible with them.
Well, they
But
need a little 10 to 11 care too, but that's a different story for a different time.
TLC. Yeah.
TLC.
So yeah, we went in and we did their color, and we did full set of our Carrington extensions, which they had tapes before, so it was a different technique. So it's going to blend.
They wanted
better.
more natural, and they wanted hair that would stay. So and they wanted icy white blonde, and we got them
icy white blonde.
icy white blonde.
The box was cold. It was so icy when it arrived at the salon.
Well,
Couldn't believe it.
I liked both of them. I thought they were really nice.
Well, I didn't have as much interaction with Darcey because I was working on Stacey, and I know she was texting Florian. They were video chatting, and so that relationship is real.
Well,
Now,
they sent in any nudes during this encounter?
I did not see any nudes, but didn't Florian like supposedly cheat or something?
I don't know exactly, but there was a post. I think Stacey had posted on Instagram or something saying that she like spoke with Florian's lover, was Canadian woman or something like that. But I didn't really, I'm not going to like reach out to her myself and be like, oh, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's real 100% or if it's something in
Rumors.
preparation for another show. You don't know.
You don't know what they sit out there.
Exactly.
Their life was pretty normal, but they were getting, I think the cast of 90 Day Fiance is kind of close because she got calls from
David and Annie.
David and Annie inviting her.
Not the Annie that I know that we discussed on the show before.
Annie?
Yeah, Annie. the
No.
actor.
We don't
I
know
thought
who
maybe
that is.
She'd make for a good reality show.
That would probably make better for a porn video, but
Well,
So yeah, we had
We'll just
Annie
ignore you.
and David from 90 Day Fiance call in,
They
which
were
was pretty
calling.
interesting.
Yep.
And again, this were all things that maybe they set up to make it seem like cooler to us. You don't know.
I don't think that they really. Do you think they thought that much about it?
You
They
never know.
did put it on speakerphone, and then they had that.
They
whole,
knew we were fans. I mean,
Right, they knew we liked him, and then of course Larissa, she's a bit of a train wreck on the show.
Bozak.
Yeah, but she has a new boyfriend named Cam, and I guess he's like constantly like DMing other cast members.
yeah, because he wants to be famous.
He wants to get on the show and become famous. So I mean, I guess when you're that level of fame, which is not huge, you're not a movie star, but you're going to get a lot more attention and a lot more crazies than we everyday people would. But it's fun to work with them. I mean, I found
Yeah.
it fun.
It's
What
fun.
is this show about? For those
And they
who may
actually
not
said
know.
that they would do the podcast at some point. So
Yes.
a shout out if they'd like to do our podcast again. We'll talk about that, but
I have many questions for them if they do the podcast.
I'm sure you would.
I have many questions for them.
So what the show is, Dan, is there's two versions. There's 90 Day Fiance, which is people who have already been in an overseas relationship, and then they have 90
All
days.
overseas.
They have 90 days to they're engaged for 90 days before they have to get married legally in the United States. You have a 3-month visa that someone can
The
stay here.
K-1 visa.
Right.
So they meet these Bozaks online or something, and then they come over?
Yeah.
Generally,
Like-
that's where the relationship
Yeah.
starts.
And that's where the camera crew follows them for these 3 months and see if they get along, they don't, whatever. Then there's another version, which the one Darcey is on, which is before the 90 days. So it's when they first meet in person. So usually they'll travel to that other person's country.
So are these like blind marriages that are being arranged for money? Or?
Well, they don't always
No,
get
not
married either. So
necessarily.
Darcey's been on the show twice. She hasn't been married to either one of
I
these
guess
people.
I don't understand.
So,
they
like,
meet
if-
online, and then they say, "Do you want to get married? We have to decide in 90
No,
days." Or I
no.
don't get it.
Okay, so you could have two options.
Yeah.
Let's say you meet a woman and she's from Russia.
Late night.
Like let's say
Texting
let's
or
say you like
something.
Russian women or
You go
Eastern
on-
European women,
Yes.
let's say. And you go on these websites that offer Eastern European women and you meet and you fall for them, but you haven't met yet. You could either have TLC follow you there, and that would be called before the 90 days. So you see if you like her in person, or you could have already done that and then you want to consider marrying her, and you could have TLC follow you, and that's called 90 days.
So at the end of the 90
makes
days,
sense?
they have to be out of the country. Is that it?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Otherwise, what are you going to marry?
But they
someone from
usually
a-
have
like-
to make a decision whether or not they're going to get engaged or not.
Right.
So Darcey's, her role is always, am I going to get engaged? Because people find her pathetic, unfortunately, because she's usually crying. So something happens within the relationship. So people tend to call her a crybaby. But what she did tell us that was probably interesting, but yet I understand it. The producers of the show and the writers already have these episodes all set up. I mean,
Yes.
cameras just don't appear. There's always a theme to it. And
Produced themes.
it's produced, and then it gets edited and
Need a
chopped up.
producer If it was true reality TV.
Right.
If it was
Is that
100%
correct?
reality.
Our professor friend in the back.
Yeah.
They wouldn't need a producer for true reality television, would they?
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct.
Now,
Well-
this is very interesting.
But they have to put it together, though.
I don't know if he would have needed 90 Day Fiance, but our friend the professor was a man that enjoyed making love to black women in Europe.
Well, that's good for him.
Well, if he wanted to marry them, he would need a
Although
visa.
he's married, he doesn't need that
There's a
Congo,
53-year-old woman
Oh.
that went for a man,
For a
actually.
man in Nigeria.
in Nigeria, and she
Michael.
wants to have a baby, and she wants to tote a baby in her
Tote a baby.
belly,
She wants to tote
but she has one egg left.
One egg.
one egg. So she wants to implant her one egg in her daughter and have the daughter tote the
But
baby.
we
Live
don't
with
know.
the baby.
She's from the
But
South.
actually no, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. She has one egg, but it's not good. But she has a
Right.
great uterus.
She's
she has a
big-
fantastic
so
uterus.
She's from the South. She has a great uterus, and she's
Now, how old are these women?
this one's 53. The Darcey,
show
I think,
is
is
so good.
45.
I
So
would have
pretty
guessed
much-
as a naive person that these would have been younger people.
No, why?
Oh no.
Actually,
Not
they tend to
everything is-
be mid to later. I mean, there's usually an age gap between the spouses.
Well, that's what it is too. So there's usually much younger men with older women, and then
know that situation.
and then that happens too, the other way
You
too.
know that situation.
now,
From what Nimi Nami told me.
And not even a couple of years is a big deal, right? Oh, stop.
So-
it was.
the other thing too is going back about production. So they have this like guidelines that they want to follow with, they make like, let's say Darcey, the desperate one, but she's okay with following to that. And she knows that that's her role that she's going to play. So she's kind of,
Not to mention they get her shit faced.
well, I was just going to say, and she was saying that they send, and I believe this with all the cast
Oh,
members,
yeah.
they send them alcohol and shots and they make, you know what I
all
mean?
those-
They
All the
have
shows.
to.
Oh, they'll probably give them, pot or whatever. They'll do anything.
Really?
Well, I don't know
Legal
about
drugs
pot.
Going on now.
I wouldn't. Well,
Really,
maybe in
is that-
some
maybe
states
that
it could
should
be
the
legal.
reality show.
Yeah.
But even if you look at like The Bachelor, or Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, really? Come
They're
on. Yeah.
there for like 2-3 months doing absolutely nothing except getting completely shit-faced on an island.
And people behave poorly when they're drunk.
Right. So
I know
mean,
I do. I wouldn't want cameras on me.
I mean, that's the whole show, you know?
Now,
So-
we have a friend of the salon. He likes to go on, I think it's called Chatterbait.
What
He
is
likes
it?
to talk to these international women.
Well, this is
and send them
probably
tokens.
okay.
Professor, I believe you know who I'm talking about, right? The friend of the salons that likes to go on Chatterbait and give tokens to
Chatterbait.
these naked women.
Oh. So these aren't women that
Many
want
of
to
them are
marry him.
international. Well, I mean, if he gave them enough tokens, he he has 90 days where he could try and
Move them to marry
a
him.
spouse. Yeah,
I think he likes just his relationship the way it is.
you think so?
Screen to whatever.
Speaking of that, another show that I was getting into is Marrying Millions.
But I think that is more scripted than anything.
It is. In fact, I am a big, I want to see the subtle changes of scenes because another thing Darcey said is they have to sign a contract saying that they won't change anything because they go back and they, redo their interviews over a period of time. So it's not like it ever changes.
They're highly edited. They're highly
Right, but you
Yeah,
can't, you
so they
can't
can't
is
change.
what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
So for instance, like Darcey had a wig on one of the episodes that I saw in her interview. Did you catch that? It was on one of the recent episodes. Her hair looked totally different. I could tell that it was a wig, but her dress and everything else looked the same. But someone else wouldn't have caught that.
You're checking out the subtle nuances.
Yes, and Marrying Millions, one of the girls, her nail color changed throughout the one
so
scene.
say-
So
yeah.
I don't know. I like to pick up on those because I'm such a reality
Well, I mean,
freak.
as we said, so
You like the reality.
the bottom line is there's some editing. There's definitely a lot of prodding and poking for them to behave badly, and they also know it. So
When you were
that's
down
what makes
in
them
Connecticut
famous.
doing the hair, I was told there was actually a third version of the show,
What's that?
Sissy Fiance.
Sissy Day? It's not 60, it's 90 Day.
Well, that's what I was told it was.
Oh, okay.
it could be 60 days too. You could find out if you like them before.
So
90
did
days.
we ever tell you this story? How many years? Maybe 6 years ago. We were asked by a company called Fly on the Wall Media. They're a production company. They actually produce Big Brother, and they asked for a sizzle reel from our salon because they were looking for salons, and we had everything going, and they found our salon quite interesting, I guess. But
It's an interesting place.
it is. But what happened was, you're only going to capture so much in the sizzle reel. So I said, do you want like the everyday activity? And they said, no, we want to focus on characters. We want to see who's in your shop. At that time, it was a little different. There wasn't
Imagine
everybody.
if you had me there at that point.
That would have been great. But what happened was, we had a decent amount of people in there, but it was probably one of our more, not as many nutty people.
Yeah.
So we did all the character interviews, and we were honest about how we felt about other people. I never showed anyone the sizzle reel because they probably would have fought with each other. They would have. But what happened was,
Oh, I'd love to see
they
the sizzle
kept
reel
they
that could
kept
be created
asking
now.
me, just fly on the
Do
wall.
you still
kept
have
saying,
that? I would love to watch
I
it
don't
over again.
know, but they kept asking me, "Where's the sizzle reel? Where is the sizzle reel?" And I finally got it to them. You know, by God, the turnaround time was like a week. And when I got it to them, they said, "Oh, you guys get along too well."
Like I
Imagine.
said, imagine if they saw the sizzle reel if it was made this week.
Yeah,
But you know what's funny? There's a new hair salon reality show that I just saw.
On what station? What
TLC.
network? On TLC.
And it's based off of a girl. She's Italian, and it's like New Jersey and New York. You know, that same type.
But is that new?
This is new,
Oh.
and it's a family-owned salon. So she's there with her sisters and her mom and her aunt. It's like a whole family, and she specifically does nails, but they're hairstylists. So she's the main vocal point, let's say. So she's telling, she'll be the narrator for the story, but she's very interesting. She does these crazy fashion nails, but it's in a hair salon with hair being done also. So it's like,
there's all
you know,
drama in a hair salon.
it just makes you feel like we could have done better, doesn't it? Like we would be a better reality
Well,
show.
what happened was, I think we had some amazing characters. Not everyone, though. We had the witch. She was good.
She was good.
She was casting spells and
And we can
clearing
replace that witch.
energy.
We can find another one.
Yeah.
We have the psychic now.
And, yeah, of course, we have a psychic. And now we have Dan, which, my God, that would just take that to another level. And then we had you and Philip.
Yep.
It's the family members, which
Philip doesn't have, it's not
you
necessary.
guys were great, though.
Right. But
The
if,
other one
you know-
didn't want to start, though. Carrie didn't want to say she was a drunk, which I wanted her to say. And
All they have to do is go into
who wouldn't want to publicly say that they're a drunk on
no,
reality
but I mean,
TV?
I know, and I think that was the problem. It was like we wanted to get them on TV, but on the other hand, I don't think people were willing to really just stab each other's backs.
I think
But they do in real life, unfortunately.
right.
They stab each other's back.
think we really do hair and we're real stylists. So I think anybody who's really that can't really be on a TV show because you lose
if you want to be taken
clientele.
seriously. Yeah. And I don't know of anybody that really got famous. There's been many. I think there was one that was really popular, hair salon in New Jersey, maybe almost 10 years ago now. But that person never really got
But
on
I think that this reality show that's coming out, I don't think they're real hairstylists, and I don't think they're real clients. At the end
who
of the day.
knows what's going to really even happen with it?
Right.
But what I wanted them to focus on, what I thought was pretty cool, is if they also not only focused on the staff, but some of the people coming in. Some of the unique
Supporting
transgender people.
characters.
Exactly. Or
no, this is a warrior.
we have so many unique people
Talent
that come
dance
to
with
us.
Resident Psychic.
Exactly.
The mayor.
My mother. What are you talking about?
The mayor would have been great for the reality show.
So
Who
Dan,
else? Yes.
I mean, you must know,
I know many, believe it or not. That's
yeah,
why I
but
feel
you're in a
like-
different industry,
Being in the wrestling.
Well, no, that has nothing to do with the reality
no?
TV that I'm familiar with. I've been familiar with the American Grit reality show on Fox. Hogan Knows Best, I think, was on VH1 for several
Oh,
years.
Hogan knows best. What do you know about that?
About as close to scripted as a reality TV show could be.
Yeah,
But don't you think they're all sort of that way?
they have
Yes,
to be.
I do. That's
Was
why
there
I don't
something
understand why anyone calls them reality. That one was more of
Do you think they start as reality, and then once they get some fame, they have to script it?
No, I think it's a lot less expensive
it was more of
to not have actors
an embellished reenactment of things that happened in
in
real
their
life.
lives.
Yeah, and
How do you know that though?
I have
How did you know about
friends.
it?
I got
But do you
friends.
think these people are so
You got
good at
friends.
acting?
You got friends.
Do you
What's
think that they could possibly be like? Sometimes I think like, can someone really, if they're not actors and they're not trained, can they really laugh on cue? Can they really? I mean, they're not actors.
But there's so much in the editing. They get so much footage
Well, that-
that
yeah.
they can edit out and just make a whole scenario that probably never even existed.
It's almost on par with, I know you're a big fan of the court shows.
I love
You're up
judge
in the middle
shows.
of the night,
I am.
unable to sleep because your crazy mind is stirred. But it's like, people say, geez, why would these idiots go on television to be made a fool of?
I was asked to go on a court show.
Well, let me finish, and then
Yeah,
you
go
can tell
ahead.
us about that. Why would they go on TV to be made a fool of like that? Well, there's no law that says they have to go on Judge Judy to have their court appearance televised. They go because there's the payday involved with it. If you read the very, very tiny, tiny small print at the end, it tells you that the TV show is the one that are paying the judgments. They're getting
Exactly.
out of it for free.
That's exactly what they told me over the phone.
What were you going to sue? Who were you going to sue?
No, I wasn't suing. Somebody sued us because she didn't like our extensions. This is
sued
about
you.
10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And there was a judge show. It was not long. It was not a long-lasting show. And it was a gentleman that, I think he was gay. He was a gay judge, openly gay judge. And what are you doing with that noise? Is that?
That's the People's Court.
Oh, that's People's Court. I love her, Marilyn Mignon. So so they called me and they said, we go through all these lawsuits and small claims, and we see that there's someone who this woman was a character who wants to sue you. And I said, yeah, I said, no, she actually sent in paperwork. And they said, if you can get her to go on the show, we'll pay for the judgment either way, however it goes. She told me this. I said to myself, do I want to do that? And I didn't. I really, because, I know that particular person, if someone goes to actually sue you, which thankfully doesn't happen often, I think she would have made me look really stupid. Not to mention, I didn't do her hair. It was Kathy, that older woman. Do you remember her? Mm-hmm. And if I brought her with me, oh my God, she would have been so nervous and meek. I just didn't want to deal with it.
Did you get sued in real life then, outside of
What ended up happening is they tried to reach this woman. They called me back.
Who tried to reach?
The producers of this show. And they called me back and said they couldn't reach her. She disappeared once she saw that they were calling her. They were probably like, what the heck is going on? So she disappeared, this woman that was suing us, and I never heard from her again.
Really?
But I had to show up at the Malden courthouse. She wasn't there.
She didn't show up?
She didn't show up.
So what happened at the Malden courthouse?
Well, what if you don't show up? I
Just
forget.
thrown out?
You're just done. Yeah, she never
What
showed.
was she trying to get out of you?
She wanted her money back for her extensions, but she waited like 3 months. I mean, it's a typical scenario of just.
And you didn't
Stupidity.
Stupidity.
Didn't feel the refund was warranted.
I didn't know, because you know me and you know Aurora. If we feel there's something that we
go
could
too
do
far.
customer service wise, we would have fixed it.
How much do you think these reality stars make on these shows?
I think it
if
depends
they have the
how
money
many
to.
seasons they do. Don't you think?
Depending upon if you're talking about taking the average Joe off the street as opposed to someone that already has some level of fame, those people will make good money. The average Joe taken off the street, depending upon what TV channel it's on, some of them you're looking at maybe a $400 stipend a week.
That's
Not
it?
big money.
That's it?
Yeah.
But I think like the Bravo celebs, they definitely make more, especially
Well,
those Real
It all
Housewives.
depends on who they are.
Yeah. I mean, initially, though, think about it. They're not hiring actors. So they can. So
That's
if you
why
do a
these
reality
networks
show,
love
it's
the reality
great.
shows, though.
Exactly.
They don't have to deal with the Actors Union, the
Yeah.
Screen Actors Guild, or anything like that.
Oh, there's no union. You don't
No,
think they have to
no,
put them
no,
in the
they
union?
absolutely don't
Oh,
have to.
wow.
No. So I mean, they're producing cheap programming. That,
Yeah.
At least initially, people usually like for a little bit.
And
before
I think they don't
become
make-
old and repetitive.
Right. And but also once they start becoming popular, then they probably have to get their money because then they become stars. But I remember not too long ago there was a show with Patty Stanger on Bravo, Millionaire Matchmaker. And I had a client. She was on the show. She was trying to be an actress, so she went out to LA and she was on the show. So the premise of the show is these millionaires have to pick out their perfect woman, and Patty Stanger is going to bring them together and make them find love and give them all the advice they need so they have a wonderful relationship. So this girl was actually on one of the episodes, and I recognized her. And we were talking about it, and she told me that she was actually chosen to date the millionaire because the millionaire has a choice between maybe 20 girls. Do you remember the show? So this one particular girl told me that it was so fake that when she went out on a date, so they go on a date with the millionaire, that the millionaire had his girlfriend there. And the millionaire was filming while his girlfriend was watching the whole thing, and it wasn't even his house. And then they were,
Probably wasn't even a millionaire.
who knows?
Right.
And it was one scene where he ended up peeing on the girl's leg. Yeah.
What?
I have to look it up. Yes.
What?
He was drunk. She said he really was drunk.
And
he
they
wanted
aired
to be,
this that
yes,
he peed
and
on her
he wanted to
leg?
be that absurd, and he peed on her leg.
My dear God.
Yeah, I love to look that up because this is maybe 7-8 years ago.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not shocked. I guess that reality TV is really not reality TV.
No,
it's not a
It's an
shock.
impossibility. How can those cameras just show up everywhere? I mean,
Exactly. How could all of these big life-changing moments happen when there's a camera crew there?
yeah, exactly. So
I
the,
hate
and
to burst the bubble for those
Yeah.
who believed in it, much like the fallacy around December 25th. Not that we'd ever say anything in case we have younger fans of the show.
I doubt it.
Well, with the man from the North Pole.
Right.
It's the same thing. People want to believe and they have fun with it.
I think it's true because we've been on television. We've had small production done in the salon. You know what it takes to just get a crew there to film a small little happening. Or when we even come here and film here. It's
It's a major league production.
a major league production enough. So yeah, there's no way.
And going back to Darcey and things like that, you have to also let your guard down completely. Like you have to be completely open to allow them to be involved in your life. Like
I
over,
think so, yeah.
and if you have a little bit of anything in you could never do reality
No,
TV.
and you could never be under such scrutiny and be on Instagram.
She said
and-
specifically they were filming, there was a couple scenes where she was like changing in the bathroom. You remember?
Oh my God, that was
Latex
great.
and everything.
Yeah.
And then she was
I think
changing.
she plays it up. I
But
think
that's
she
what I
knows
mean. She knows
how to do
exactly.
it.
And she was changing her shoes in the street. Do you remember? She had the
Yes.
Louboutins she
Yes.
was trying to put on. And she said when she saw that again, they were even filming her feet. I mean, the little things like that. Like they knew that her changing was going to be just fantastic, and she knew it.
They probably told her.
It's so
Go
silly.
change in there. I mean, who knows? Because they're like a little bug in the ear. Go do this. Go do that.
Yeah. I just want to know what these producers end up doing. Are they like? Do they consider themselves real producers? Like, or
Of course, yeah.
Of course they do.
and then do they want to go off and do like movies and things, or do they want to stay in this? So they kind of have to start off at the bottom.
I guess it imagines where do you want to go. Maybe there are some that really enjoy doing reality TV. As far as that aspect of it goes, I wouldn't be familiar with it other than a semi-educated opinion.
But you've seen other shows, or you've known of other
Linda
tapings?
Moratti was a big fan of some of these shows, and I
Yeah.
would sit through some of them, and they would, again, I would try and break it apart as far as how they structured it, as opposed to actually believing. The one that I enjoyed, that I think there is realism to, is the one on MTV about the mystery people on the internet.
Catfished.
Oh,
There you go.
Catfish. But I think
Much
that
like-
one's also set up too now,
Much
Dan.
like our good
I think
friend-
it started off more
I think
legitimate,
it
and then
started
now
out
it
legit,
now
and
it
then-
becomes boring.
How many times can you have a catfish
Yeah.
situation?
You think people don't fall for it anymore.
So people are writing in, and they're not being truthful as
That's
well.
happened on a couple of episodes.
Yeah, they've exposed them. So
They-
yeah.
You know, our good friend Cecil the Lion has been dealing with that now for several
He is a catfish?
years. For several years.
And Aurora, he's a handsome boy, as you know. He really is. I looked at him the other day.
He's a handsome kid.
He's a good-looking boy.
There's a nickname for his stalker,
What is it?
Mr. Super Bowl.
Mr. Super Bowl?
It's a man.
Yes. He texts him during big events, like during the Super Bowl afterwards. He said, "Did you watch the Super Bowl and come?"
Oh my God. Oh, Dan.
Well, that's what happened. I didn't make it up.
So
Maybe this
even
should be
going
on,
back
yeah.
to
I
Jerry
even
Springer real
take
quick,
this.
because that was I brought up Jerry Springer. It just came in my head.
300%.
That was probably one of the first real reality
I think it
television
started-
was those talk shows.
What was, that's,
Like,
that's partial.
Think about it, like,
sure.
and I feel like it started like Jerry Springer probably started off a little bit like real, and then the setup, like
That setup,
You know, you were
yeah.
saying, can people really be catfished? Well, think of the people that were on like Jerry Springer. Could those really have been real people?
Yeah, very
They
few.
were paid a
They were all
substantial-
paid to.
$600 a person they get on Jerry.
Oh, you knew that?
I know people that have been on that too.
Oh God, you do.
600 a pop, plus air and
To,
hotel.
to behave badly and say you're a stripper and you
Yeah,
screwed
pretty much.
everybody.
That is
You
pretty
are
much-
the
you're
father.
given-
Oh, the father. That's
you're
Maury.
given the script, and you go out and I don't know about Maury Povich or those types nowadays.
Oh, I'm
but
sure
I
it's
know
all
with
the
Jerry
same.
Springer, it was $600 plus accommodations to go out there
Jesus.
and be that character for.
Wow.
They do say one of the first reality shows was The Real World on MTV.
Hmm.
And there was a real handsome guy. It was back in like the early 90s. And he lived right in Everett. What's his name? Eddie or something? So handsome.
I think so, yeah.
You saw it too?
Oh yeah, loved Eddie.
Oh, get out of here. I think his name was Eddie.
But they've been famous. That guy
Some of
Mike is a
them.
wrestler. Mike, you know,
Sure.
Mike Madman or whatever his name was. Mike, isn't he a wrestler?
Oh, The Miz. Yeah,
The Miz.
that's
He
it.
was on reality. He was on The Real World.
Starts out that way.
Joe Rogan used to be a host
Oh,
on. I don't know if he was a host on Real World or The Challenge or when they started doing all that stupidity.
so Dan, listen. I think we need our own reality show. I think they made a mistake, this fly on the wall, especially now that you're around, because you are a source of like craziness, and we're laughing, peeing ourselves, because you have every one of us down.
Some.
So let's hear one. I want to hear Ayana.
I don't think we should put that on the podcast, man. Yeah. Cheyenne, I'll move over the weekend. We're not going to pay $5,000 coming some to move our furniture. I almost paid $15,000 to pay back beyond. Yeah. Going out of business. I need new sheets. Yeah. I ain't have much.
I want to hear
Daddy
Cheyenne.
Pollock, he lived down in Alabama. He said, I got bedroom for you. I said, no, what do you think? I'm just going to show up in Alabama out of the blue? Yeah.
Okay, now do today.
Hmm.
I just wish I had this on film.
Qu'est-ce que c'est beau? Lo. Ich bin Scott. Gege bate ba.
Hollywood Barani. That was Hollywood Barani and today. And who else do we have? Let's see. Diane.
I don't really have one, but I know how to move. I like to dance.
Thing about someone down in the back of the salon. Because everyone else is getting appointments but me. Since fucking Dan just wants to give all the appointments to the quote-unquote master stylist.
Aurora,
I know I have one.
you must have one. Although I've yet to see it.
No, I really don't.
You don't have one for Aurora?
No.
Other than you complain that she wears black all the time.
I've never complained about it. I've just observed it. That's
He says usually good-looking girls wear color. I said, I don't understand that
well,
point.
the mayor and I were talking about it
I
yesterday.
think Alicia's might be my new favorite.
Even more than today's purr.
Yeah.
All right, Dan.
Is that the cue to take
That's
it
the
home?
cue to take it home.
Well, if after this podcast you haven't said to yourself, you know what, I need to head on to Noel's Salon, 347 Pleasant Street, downtown Malden, Massachusetts, you don't know the fun that you're missing. Check us out, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Noel's Salon, noelsalon.com, or give us a call, 781-324-9779. Don't forget, we're open 7 days a week, including late nights for a limited time. Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, 15% off all services. Come and visit Aurora and Diane. Until the next time, here on Hair Matters, you and yours be well.